Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Now today I'm going to be making some chocolate sandwich biscuits. Now these are similar to a biscuit you can buy in France and a few other countries called Prince biscuits, which is a crunchy, hard biscuit sandwiched, two of them sandwiched together with some chocolate, which is also set basically. So for the biscuits, it's just going to be flour, icing sugar, butter and water with a bit of baking powder. And for the filling, it's simply going to be some dark chocolate and some double cream. So the first thing to do is to make the biscuit dough or the cookie dough, because that has to chill for a couple of hours before we can roll it out. So for the ingredients for the dough, I have 200 grams of plain flour, and into that I'm going to put half a teaspoon of baking powder and 80 grams of icing sugar, which I have sifted just to remove any lumps. And I'm just going to whisk that gently excuse me, to combine those dry ingredients. And then what I also have is 80 grams of butter and 50 milliliters of water, and I have melted the butter into the water, and it's still warm but it's not too hot. And what I'm going to do is to put that into the dry ingredients and mix it until we have a nice dough. And it should mix and come clean away from the bowl. So as you can see, that's come clean from the bowl quite nicely, and I'm just going to use my hand to mix it a little bit more to make sure that it all is incorporated properly. And that's it basically. So now what I have to do is to wrap that up in plastic wrap and chill it in the fridge for 2 hours. It will become quite firm, and then we'll roll it out. But I'm actually going to divide it into two and chill the two pieces individually, so that I can roll one of them and work with it, and then when I've done that I can get the other one out and it will still be chilled and I can roll that as well. It's very important with this dough that it doesn't get warm. Once it gets warm, then as you roll it, it will shrink back and you won't get the shape that you want. So I'll be back with you in 2 hours and we'll go on to roll the dough out. Okay, well I'm back with you, and I've let our pastry chill for 2 hours, and I've taken one piece out and I put it on a counter which I have dusted, and in this case I've dusted it with icing sugar, but flour would be fine. And then I have to roll the pastry out, and I want to roll it out until it's about 1/8 of an inch thick, or 3 millimeters. Now at the moment it's quite firm because it's been chilling. If it's too firm to roll, you can hit it with the rolling pin to soften it a little bit, but I don't want to do too much to it because I want it to stay as cold as possible while I'm rolling. And that's fine, like that. So then what I'm going to do is take a 6 centimetre cookie cutter, and I'm going to use the patterned side, and I'm going to cut out discs and put those onto a baking tray which I have lined with parchment paper. And I'll do that with the second piece as well, and this excess I'm going to roll up and chill again with the second piece, so that I can roll out some further ones. So before I do that, I'm just going to take what I've got so far, and I'm going to make some patterns on them. You can do any pattern you want, or you can do it without patterns, but I'm going to anything like that, or whatever you've got to hand. And having made some patterns, and when I've rolled out the other ones as well, I'm going to put them back in the fridge to chill further as I preheat the oven to 180 Celsius. That's 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit. Then I'm going to put them in the oven and bake them for 15 minutes. And they should start to turn brown and slightly darker brown maybe around the edges. Then I'll take them out and let them cool down and come back, and we'll make the filling, the chocolate filling, to go in them as well. Well, I'm back with you, and I've taken our cookies out, and I've let them cool down completely. And then what I did was I took 150 grams of dark chocolate and 60 grams of double cream or heavy cream, and I actually have a little contraption here which allows me to melt the chocolate. But what you need to do is to mix the cream with the chocolate. So either you can carefully melt the chocolate in a microwave or in a bain-marie, and then pour the 60 millilitres of cream in and stir it round, or you can heat the cream until it's very hot and pour that over the chopped up chocolate and stir it around until it's all combined, and then you'll get a mixture which is like this, which while it's warm is still quite runny, but as it cools down it will firm up and go nice and hard. So what I'm going to do is, while it's still runny, I'm going to pour it into a piping bag, and I'm actually going to leave that for a few minutes for it to start to firm up. Then I'm going to pipe it onto the top of the biscuits. So what I've actually done is I have turned half the biscuits upside down, and I will pipe the chocolate onto those. Okay, so I've let the chocolate cool down just a little bit, not very much, and I've cut the end off my piping bag. And what I'm going to do is just squeeze some chocolate onto each one of the upturned ones. I've upturned half of them. And then I'm going to very gently put the other biscuit on top and just press it so that the chocolate spreads out to the edges. Like that. And then I'm going to leave them to firm up so that the chocolate goes nice and firm in the middle, and then I will come back and we'll have a taste of one. Okay, well our cookies are ready now, as the ganache in the filling has set firm or firmer. So this is what they look like, and I'll just take one and have a taste. That's very good. So as you could probably hear, the biscuit is nice and crunchy, and you've got that lovely rich velvety chocolate taste and sensation in the middle. Very good, easy to make. You don't have to do the patterning particularly, but that's just the way I did it. So I hope you've enjoyed this recipe, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye, as ever, that will take you to the recipe, and I'll also put a link to it below the video. And I will be back with you with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.